Hello, friends. It's holy shit. Holy shit. We got a lot to go on. Welcome, friends. It's on fire here. A lot to talk about. We're gonna do a little bit of a emergency politics stream. We're in the Crisis Onesie. Man. All right. So where do we start? Number one, I'm going to let you know that, this is a stream of me watching a stream of CNN because the breaking news is that Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein has either resigned or been fired. So that's number one. That's breaking literally right now. Also, by the way, look at this. I was going to start, I thought I had a jam-packed $3 stream this morning. By the way, very good time. Very good time. If you are interested in becoming a $3 subscriber of the Politics program at takepoliticsseriously.com, it's a good time to do it because a lot happening. And so I thought that today we were going to have we were going to have a very easy Politics Extra podcast. After all, on Friday, New York Times breaks the story that Assistant Attorney General Rod Rosenstein had not only discussed wiretapping the president, having somebody go speak to the president while wearing a fucking wire, but it also, according to reports, had offered or tried to get a 25th Amendment push, meaning that he tried to organize the majority or explore the idea of organizing the president's cabinet to, in the majority, vote that the president was physically unable to serve as president, to have Donald Trump removed via the 25th Amendment. So, that's Friday. I got my Monday stream. By the way, I'm a flying squirrel. I have wings. That was my fucking whole thing Monday. Then Kavanaugh shit breaks. The Kavanaugh shit is that the lawyer for Dr. Ford, this is the initial the initial accuser of Brett Kavanaugh, had agreed to testify. Specifically, that she would speak first, Kavanaugh would speak second, and it will happen on Thursday. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I got two things to talk about on my Monday stream, or my Monday podcast, exclusively for $3, folks. And then we get the report that Ronan Farrow, this is a Farrow joint, drops Sunday night, says Deborah Ramirez, a fellow Yale freshman, was drunk when they were both freshmen, her and Kavanaugh. By the way, Waffle Avoca says it's exclusive for $3, folks, until all this news happens. Well, no, $3 folks get my first opinions. $3 folks, that's already out. If you're part of the $3 club, congratulate yourself because you've got yourself an awesome podcast that is already in your feeds. But we're watching this shit live as it goes on. So here's the deal. And by the way, I'm watching now the protest in front of Susan Collins' office to vote no on Kavanaugh. They're trying to peel off the GOP stuff. So, all right, let's go back. Ronan Farrow. The story is Deborah Ramirez, who was also a Yale freshman, was drunk one night, and Kavanaugh allegedly pulled out his penis and stuck it in her face. She pushed him away and by accident touched his penis. There's also, in that article, what I think might wind up being the messiness that moves these things along. Descriptions of how Georgetown Prep, and specifically rich kids in the 80s that went to rich kid school, how they acted. Spoiler alert, like the rich kids that went to rich kid school in the movies they made about the 80s. Okay. Sorry, good family news. Okay. So nasty shit happening at Georgetown Prep. Up to and including running a train on women and specifically finding women that they can get drunk so they can have sex with them. On top of that, the cherry on top, the next president of the United States, Michael Avenatti, wades in throwing Molotov motherfucking cocktails last night, saying that he represents another woman who has more information about these nasty antics at Georgetown Prep. Let's go ahead and take a look, shall we? He says in the emails, among other things, that he has information about Brett Kavanaugh in the 80s in the D.C. area targeting women with alcohol and drugs in order to allow a quote-unquote train of men to subsequently gang rape them. He suggests the following questions be asked of Kavanaugh when he testifies at the hearing on Thursday. Number one, did you ever target one or more women for sex or rape at a house party? Did you assist Mark Judge and others in doing so? Number two, did you attend any house party during which a woman was going to be raped or used for sex by multiple men? Did you ever witness a line of men outside a bedroom of any house party where you understood a woman was in the bedroom being raped or taken advantage of? Did you ever participate in any sexual conduct with a woman at a house party or with whom you understood to be intoxicated and or under the influence of drugs? Did you ever communicate with Mark Judge or anybody about your participation in a train involving an intoxicated woman? Did you ever object or attempt to prevent one or more men from participating in the rape or taking advantage of any woman at a house party? He then goes on to say there was some conversation over the weekend about Kavanaugh bringing his calendars to prove that he may or may not have been in town when Blasey Ford was making her accusation. Avenatti's got something for that. Brett Kavanaugh must also be asked about this entry in his yearbook. The FFFFFFFF 4th of July. We believe that stands for find them, French them, feel them, finger them, fuck them, forget them, as well as the term Devil's Triangle. Perhaps Senator Grassley can ask him. Now, allow me to say that when Michael Avenatti's involved, we have gone outside the realm of anything being fair. This is about optics, and this is about a push to make sure that Kavanaugh is not confirmed on the Supreme Court. Now, let's get to what we are talking about, because as was pointed out earlier in the chat, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, there have been conflicting reports on whether or not he has resigned or whether or not he is going to force the White House to fire him. The gulf between those two is tremendous. One would allow Donald Trump, the Trump administration, to put somebody into Rosenstein's spot without as much hassle. Firing Rosenstein, the reason why that hasn't been something that has been broached a lot is because that now requires confirmation, which means putting in a hatchet man to either hamper or dismantle the Mueller investigation is at the least a tremendous political mess and at the most impossible. Again, you are watching a stream of somebody watching a stream of CNN. The White House says that Trump is going to meet with Rosenstein Thursday. So there is a possibility that nothing happens today. WJ says, I feel making Trump fire him might be the better, more incendiary way to go. Again, this isn't about optics. This is more about process. This is about the process of Rosenstein being somebody that is, going to have to be replaced and how he will be replaced. I have no idea whether or not it's Rosenstein or Stein. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fuck that one up a lot. So all right, if I'm reading this breaking news correctly, it does not look like Rod Rosenstein is right now confirming that he has resigned. All right, and here we go. It looks like we have an official statement from Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We are going to this now here. Thank you to Waffleophagus in the chat. Statement on Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. At the request of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, he and President Trump had an extended conversation to discuss the recent news stories because the president is at the United Nations General Assembly and has a full schedule with leaders from around the world. They will meet on Thursday when the president returns to Washington, D.C. Big day Thursday. The first reply is in 1991, you said an FBI investigation was the right thing to do. Okay, but now it's a Kavanaugh thing. Okay. All right. Well, that kind of puts a little bit of a damper on the current fire. I might have to remove the Crisis Onesie. So one fire. This was kind of a double fire, right? Defenseless baby Jerry, your beard looks glamorous today. Do you use beard oil? I do. But it's also just reaching a point of critical mass. Anyway. Okay. So. That is that. We will probably wrap up this YouTube of emergency talking about Kavanaugh and Rosenstein. But I will leave you with this. I will leave you with, if, let's say, there were elements of the GOP that said, hey, look, there ain't nothing wrong with being Harriet Myers. Nothing wrong with being Harriet Myers. Not everybody gets confirmed. That's why I say, hey, man, nice shot. Was a good shot, man. Kavanaugh, maybe if you weren't so busy playing fucking Ookie Cookie and mixing up jungle juice in the 80s, you would have been able to take this position. As it turns out, that's not the case. We really just need to sit somebody on the Supreme Court. So thanks, but no thanks. That's it. And that's all. You could ask for worse covers than a gigantic constitutional crisis unfolding with the Deputy Attorney General. You could ask for worse covers than the Deputy Attorney General playing the fucking hokey pokey with his job, and therefore the Mueller investigation hanging in the balance. It would seem that this would be a very unique cover to say Kavanaugh's out. Now we're talking about somebody else. And I'll leave you with this one, too. If that were the case, you'd have to wonder who you would replace him with, and whether or not that person would be more or less likely to overturn Roe versus Wade. Because my suspicion is it might be more. All right. That's a wrap for YouTube. Twitch, I'm going to stay on here, and we're going to do Jury Daily. But that's it. And stop trying to make Merrick Garland happen. Like Fetch, it's not happening.